This is just awesome.
How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
You picked up so quickly and efficiently, I thought I was intruding on another interview or something.
I always feel like we're waking you up in the morning. Are we bothering you?
No, you are way too late for that, my friend.
What time does Paul Reiser wake up?
Well, if left on my own, who knows? It's never happened. We have a boxer puppy.
Oh, come on.
A boxer, not a dog, an actual middleweight. And let me tell you something. This guy, no. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with boxers?
Yes, our neighbors have
crazy.
One. Yeah,
they're beautiful. The wonder is that she's a beautiful dog. She's a little hyper. And she'll do something like jump on my head, and I'll go, oh, isn't that interesting? There's a 70-pound dog on my head. Okay. Who put this dog on my eye? And then, then you're up.
Right, of course.
Hard to sleep through that.
Well, that's how puppies are. Have you had a dog before?
Yes, but not a boxer.
Okay.
We've had labs for the last many, many years. Very different dog.
Well, I have a lab mix, Paul, and when he was a puppy, well, he's a year and a half old, he's still crazy. They're crazy.
Oh, you're very comforting. You're very comforting.
Scott, you've had dogs. They're crazy when they're puppies.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're just like children, except one you can put down.
Wow.
No, but it's sort of, when a dog, it's an interesting thing because a dog, 95% of the time, she's just the most beautiful, sweet, loving, affectionate dog. 5%, she's a terror, and it's sort of like a kid goes, yeah, but I didn't rob the bank. I didn't rob any banks today. It's like, okay, but that's not the issue. Like 95% of the days you've committed no felony, but the days you do are a problem.
I'm a very hyper guy, and I find it very comforting and zen when I take my dog Wrigley for a walk. But it comes to that moment when Wrigley takes a dump, and I think to myself, oh, my God, I got to pick this up, put it in a bag, tie it up, and find a garbage can to throw it away.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's why I don't walk with my friends, because I think I have to do that. It's like I don't hang out with anybody, because I just think my dog owner mentality is going to kick, and I go, let me get that for you. So I stay put. I sit in a chair, and I don't talk to anybody. I just talk to the dog.
We're talking with Paul Reiser now. Do you have a hammock? The reason I asked...
No, but that's awfully sweet of you to send me one. I'd love a hammock. Nothing would make me happier than to have a hammock.
The reason I ask is because Scott just doesn't have one. He has two. He has two hammocks.
What is the issue here?
What? Well, are they used by two different people, or do you go from one to the other? How does that work?
I got one hammock as a gift from Mexico, and then I just bought myself a second hammock from Groupon for $17.
What did you use either of them?
Yes, I put them out on my balcony, and I
Paul, he lives in a condo, a high rise.
I'm gonna, I don't mean to sound elitist, but I'm going to think a $17 hammock is not going to support a human body.
It's actually a two-person hammock, holds up to 450 pounds, and if you knew
one
me,
of the
I
persons
need
is holding the ass of the other one off the ground. That's why you need two people.
Scott is kind of a big guy, kind of a big dude.
Oh, geez.
Yes, he's a big boy. So.
Well, good luck with your house. Well, if it falls, then it's a poncho. He used the Mexican one, and now it's a hammock. Now it's a poncho. It's 2 in 1.
You know what? Here's something that's interesting. Now that we have you two together again, you and Scott both starred in the same movie.
Did we?
This year.
What was that?
Miles.
Is that right?
Yes.
Scott in that? I don't think I don't remember that. So, Scott, what did you play in that motion picture?
So Paul Reiser plays the lead in this movie with Molly Shannon from Saturday Night Live.
Love them both. Good actors.
A young man's father turns out to spend all of his college money on his mistress, and then he dies.
Right.
And Molly Shannon's the mother, and Molly Shannon ends up dating Paul Reiser.
Right, who's the sort of the principal or the head of his school, the kid's school, because the kid gets into some trouble.
So as the husband is dying of a heart attack, Molly Shannon's husband's dying of a heart attack, I'm the radio DJ on the radio in the kitchen.
I knew that was you. I knew it. Sometimes you hear, you can't place it. Now, how did that come to be?
So I went to college with the director, Nathan Adloff.
Oh.
and Nathan speaks highly of you and all of his interactions with you on set, off set,
very nice fella.
Pre-movie, after movie. So what was it like? You know, you
never cared for him. Never cared for that son of a.
Well, how does it go for you? You've worked on, Mad About You, this mega NBC hit show. Everybody knows you from it, and now you're taking the time to pick independent films that are of interest to you. How did you get to this point?
I just wanted to work with you, and they said, "Well, he's only on the radio." I said, "It's good enough for me." I said, "Sometimes I call first thing in the morning just to talk to Scott." That's how devoted I am.
And that's where we are.
Yeah, so eager I am to work with you. Oh. What are you doing next week, for example? Because I'm open, baby.
Can he call you next Wednesday?
Yeah,
all right.
I'll call you next Wednesday. I just love him so much.
Oh. Well, that's where everybody in Hollywood is going to independent films and cable right now, right?
You know what? There's so much good opportunity. There are so many TV shows. There's so many new outlets for TV shows that you can do. I'm on this show called Red Oaks, which is on Amazon, and it's kind of like an independent film spread over 10 episodes. You can watch it straight through if you choose to spend 5 hours. And so I'm working on a couple of projects on my own, and truly, I have a very simple system. If somebody lets me know about a project, or my agent, whoever it is, and I like the script and it's a nice role and it's people I want to work with, I go, sure, count me in. So sometimes they're bigger projects, sometimes they're smaller, sometimes they're tiny roles. I did a film. I did a couple of scenes in Concussion, which was a really great script with Will Smith, and it had great people.
I got it on my DVR. I haven't watched it yet.
Well, don't look for me because I'm in it about as much as you are. I mean, I'm literally in it about 9 seconds when it turns out. But but it was 2 days anyway, so I knew I wasn't the star. But it was a great story with great people, and I said, well, yeah, who wouldn't want to go play with Albert Brooks and Will Smith and Alec Baldwin? So in this film, Miles was a very sweet script, very nice role, and I worked with Molly Shannon before. I said, well, this looks like fun. So I went to New York and shot it. I think it's coming out, I don't know, sometime soon.
Well, Scott should know because he can't wait to tell everyone.
Here is some trivia that I don't know if you know this, Paul.
Please.
You had a sex scene with Molly Shannon, and it's the first sex scene she's ever done in her career.
She says that, but let me tell you something. She knew what she was doing. I'll tell you that right now. She plays, this is my first time. Yeah, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Is that right? Did she say it? Maybe she said it was her first one with me.
No, she said it was her first sex scene.
Let me ask you this: when we're having and it's, I don't want to get the people's hopes up. It's a relatively chaste and clothed sex scene, but in the apartment. On the radio, was that you yammering while we were having sex?
Exciting and new.
Now, when you're doing a sex scene, do you try to slip in the tongue every once in a while just to test the waters?
That's an interesting question. You ask an interesting question there. You know what I remember about that particular thing? It's a very low budget movie. I think the whole movie was like $700, and. So moving fast, and they had this apartment. There was an actual apartment. It wasn't like I said, and it was remarkably hot. And I just remember sweating a great deal. I'll go, well, I'll just make that a character choice. My character's nervous because he's widowed and he hasn't been with a new woman. So let's say he's nervous. In fact, I was going, my God, could somebody go out and buy an air conditioner? This is a very tiny little set. But she's great. Molly Shannon is so funny and talented, and she's. I mean, it's not a very comic role, but she's great in this. But one of the nicest people there's ever been made, Molly Shannon.
God, that's awesome. I mean, you seem like a very likable guy.
Well, first couple of minutes. It's like a date, you know what I mean?
It really
By
is.
the time we get to dessert, you'll be rethinking it.
I mean, you've been on a half a dozen times. I feel like you like us and we're almost friends.
I call you, sometimes you're not even on the air. I just call you in the car. They don't have to know that, but that's the truth.
City.
So meanwhile, tell the people why am I even calling?
I was just going to get the plug in, and you cut me off.
Jesus, we're so chatting. Tell them.
CityWinery.com is where you can get tickets. This Friday, Paul Reiser will be in town, and every time you come to town, and I'm not kidding, Scott and I are always out of town. I haven't seen you perform yet.
Well, that's the way I like it.
Let's see. Let me check Pete's vacation schedule.
I get 2 shows Friday, so in case, And they're both the late show. They're both at 11:30, which is crazy. I don't know how they do it.
Wow, you're just running from room to room.
Yeah, and you can't really get a good rhythm going like that. But it's fun. I have not been in Chicago in a while, and I've never been in this beautiful venue. So, and it's nice. It's a nice, small, intimate venue. So I'm looking forward. And come on down. It's Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are people doing? How much can you be on a boat? At some point, you got to say, "Let's go see a comedian."
Let's go see Paul Reiser.
Yeah, or it's Friday night, so you kick it off, and then you spend the rest of the night, the weekend on the boat, going, "Remember this joke he told?" And then you can reflect.
Remember that sex scene with Molly Shannon? Wait, the movie hasn't come out yet.
I was so distracted by the guy on the radio.
That was him. He's sitting right across from me. Citywinery.com. It's Paul Reiser. Paul, great to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you, gentlemen. I'll see you next time.
All right, see you, buddy.
Thanks.